Welcome to Ahmed's World, Supernatural. In this episode, we'll dive into the enchanting world of sirens from Greek mythology. Known for their mesmerizing songs that lured sailors to their doom, these mythical beings have fascinating origins and captivating stories. Join us as we explore their legends, symbolism, and much more. The siren, often depicted as a creature that is half bird and half woman, is famous for luring sailors to their doom with her enchanting song. While this captivating figure has been known for centuries, the origins of the siren are intriguing and worth exploring. Let's delve into her history. The sirens have been part of ancient Greek lore since at least the Mycenaean period, around 1600 to 1050 BCE. However, their exact origins remain unclear. It's likely that their stories gained popularity through the wild tales shared by sailors, who were captivated by these enchanting creatures. The ancient Greeks shared various stories about the origins of the sirens. In one origin, the sirens originally began as a trio of naiads, or freshwater nymphs, with their father being Achelous, the god of one of central Greece's largest rivers. Achelous is best known for his contest with Heracles over the love of the beautiful princess Deianira. Although he was defeated, he fathered several water nymphs, 3 of whom became the sirens. Some myths suggest that their mother was a mortal woman, while others claim they were the daughters of one of the Muses. This Muse connection explains their extraordinary musical talent, as they were said to possess the most enchanting singing voices in the world. At one point, the sirens were companions of the goddess Persephone and were present when she was abducted by Hades, the god of the underworld. Roman writers offered 2 different accounts of how Demeter, Persephone's mother, created the sirens after her daughter's kidnapping. Ovid suggested that Demeter gifted the sirens wings so they could assist in the search for her missing daughter. In contrast, another account portrayed their transformation as a curse. Demeter was so furious that the nymphs didn't intervene during Persephone's abduction that she condemned them to monstrous forms. The sirens were given wings and exiled to a distant island where they began to prey on passing sailors. Transformed from beautiful nymphs into deadly creatures, they used their enchanting voices to lure ships to their doom. Demeter declared that the day a ship could pass by them without succumbing to their song would be the day the sisters would die. In another account, the sirens were maidens who chose to remain virgins, which angered Aphrodite, the goddess of love and desire. In retaliation, she transformed them into part-bird creatures that lured sailors to their demise with their enchanting songs. Eventually, Zeus granted the sirens a new home on the island of Anthemoessa. According to the ancient Hebrew book of Enoch, the women who were led astray by the fallen angels will be turned into sirens. Enoch 19:1. And Uriel said to me, "Here shall stand the angels who have united with women, and their spirits, taking many different forms, are corrupting mankind and leading them astray to worship demons as gods. Here they shall remain until the day of the great judgment, when they will be judged and brought to an end. And the women of the angels who went astray will become sirens. And I, Enoch, alone saw the vision, the ends of all things, and no man shall see as I have seen." In early Greek art, the sirens were generally represented as large birds with women's heads, bird feathers, and scaly feet. Later depictions shifted to show sirens with human upper bodies and bird legs, with or without wings. Some classical period artworks depicted sirens with mermaid-like features. By the 3rd century BC, examples included an earthenware bowl from Athens and a terracotta oil lamp from the Roman era, showing them as mermaids or tritonesses. The earliest written reference to sirens as mermaids appears in the Liber Monstrorum, early 8th century AD, describing them as sea girls with women's upper bodies and scaly fish tails. In one myth, the Argonauts had to sail past the sirens after stealing the golden fleece from Colchis. Fortunately, the men had with them no less a musician than the great Orpheus. As the Argonauts drew near the sirens' lair, Orpheus tuned his lyre and drowned out the song of the sirens with music of his own. Only one of the Argonauts, the hero Butes, was lost to the sirens. He leapt into the sea and swam towards the creatures' voices. But he was saved, it was said, by Aphrodite, who carried him off to Sicily and became his lover. The sirens would eventually encounter Odysseus, one of the most famous heroes of Greek mythology. While returning home from the Trojan War, Odysseus had to sail past the sirens, just as the Argonauts had before him. Lacking a musician like Orpheus, Odysseus needed a clever strategy to outwit the seductive creatures. His solution was straightforward. Following the advice of the sorceress Circe, he had his crew plug their ears with wax to block out the sirens' enchanting song. However, Odysseus was eager to hear their music himself, so he instructed his men to tie him tightly to the mast of the ship, warning them not to release him, no matter how desperately he struggled. As they sailed past, he listened to their captivating song. Although he yearned to join them, his bonds held him securely in place, allowing him to experience their melody while ensuring his safe passage. Another lesser-known story tells of the Sirens in a tragic narrative where their failure to entice the Argonauts leads to severe consequences. According to this tale, the Sirens were cursed to exist only until someone heard their song and managed to escape, a fate realized when the Argonauts passed by unharmed. Heartbroken by their inability to lure the heroes, the Sirens cast themselves into the sea, transforming into rocks or, in some versions, perishing entirely. This story adds a sense of fatalism to the Sirens' myth, depicting them as victims of their own nature. In another version of the myth, the Sirens met their end, or underwent a final transformation, after losing a singing contest to the Muses. In this tale, it was the Sirens themselves who plucked out their own feathers in despair. Subsequently, they leaped into the sea and were transformed into the Lucky Islands, located off the coast of the Cretan town of Abdera, which means featherless. The Sirens were particularly revered along the Italian coast, where their bodies were said to have washed ashore after their demise. In Naples, a tomb for the Siren Parthenope hosted annual athletic contests. Nearby locations, such as Lucosia and the Cyrenus Islands, were also named after the Sirens and considered sacred to them. There are other creatures and mythical beings from different cultures around the world that share similarities with the Sirens. From their various origins to their depictions in art and fateful encounters with heroes like Odysseus, we've uncovered many fascinating aspects of these legendary creatures. While the specific stories of the Sirens may be products of ancient times, their symbolism lives on. They continue to represent the allure and danger of giving in to our desires. I hope examining their myths has deepened your understanding of these mythical beings and the cultural influence they've had over millennia. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the enchanting yet perilous Sirens of Greek mythology. Don't forget to like and subscribe.